Hello, this is Mr. Collier, and today we're looking at expected value. So expected value is kind of like an average, and sometimes we call this the mean. We use them kind of interchangeably. It's kind of like a mean for probabilities. So basically what happens on average. This should be a multiplication sign. So it's calculated by doing x times the probability of x happening. For example, if you roll a die, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what's the average outcome that you get from rolling a die? Well, it's going to be somewhere in between. You can actually just get the average of these 6 numbers, and the expected value is 3.5 if you add these together and divide by 6. Okay, so you can just get the average if all the probabilities are the same. But if your 6 is more likely, then that's going to actually bring the average up. Okay, so if it's more likely, it increases the expected value. So that would increase the probability of x, and that would give more weighting to the 6 here. Okay, so this is how you calculate expected value, or what you expect to happen on average. Okay, I'll show you an example. An ice cream seller estimates that their earnings is $4.20 on a hot day, $1.60 on a cool day. The probability of a hot day is 0.35. Find her expected earnings. So her expected value is how much she expects to earn. She earns $420 on a hot day, but that only happens 35% of the time. And she earns $160 on a cold day. That only happens 0.65 or 65% of the time, right? So if you type that into your calculator, you get $251 is how much she makes on average. Okay, so it's not really the average of 420 and 160, because the 160 happens more often, so it brings the number down a bit. Okay, so you can use it to figure out if games are fair. Your friend assures you that you can win some money with the following game. You paid $5 to play, and you pick a number from a hat, 1 to 4, so they're all equally likely outcomes. So is it worth playing? So we need the expected value for this. How much would you expect to win? So your expected value is going to be, we'll take the money, the amount of money that you win, €1 times the probability of winning €1, which is a quarter. And then €2 times the probability of winning €2. €5 times the probability of winning €5. And €8 times the probability of winning €8. All that gives you 16 over 4, which equals €4. So it is not worth playing because you have to pay €5. So on average, you actually lose €1. Okay, now we're looking at a multiple choice test. So some tests work like this. Multiple choice, if you get an incorrect answer, you lose a mark. If you get a correct answer, you gain 3 marks. So what's the expected score if the candidate chooses at random? So it's 4 answers like A, B, C, D. If someone chooses at random, what would they expect to score? Well, you get 3 points 1/4 of the time, and you get, or you lose 1 point 3/4 of the time. So you get 3/4 minus 3/4 is 0. So your expected value is 0 if you're guessing. Okay, so that's why people add this system to a multiple choice test. Because if someone guesses, they don't end up getting 25% for free. They should get about 0. But if you know one of the answers is wrong, you should actually be guessing, because if you narrow it down to 3 possibilities, then now your expected value is you get 3 points 1/3 of the time, because one of the 3 answers is right. Minus 1 times 2/3. So now you've got 3/3 minus 2/3 is 1/3, so you get 1/3 of a point on average. Okay, next question, we've got, again, some lottery tickets. So a lottery has 100 tickets and 3 prizes. Each ticket costs $1. Find the expected loss for the purchaser for 1 ticket. Okay, so expected value here is $50 times the probability of getting $50 is, let's write as a decimal, 0.01 because there's 100 tickets, plus 25 times 0.01, plus 10 times 0.01, and I guess we should subtract 1 at the end because you have to pay $1, right? So if you do that, you get negative 15 cents. Okay, oops. Negative 0.15, which equals 15-cent loss. So you lose 15 cents on average. Okay, and B, if you buy 2 tickets, then your expected value equals 50. 50 times the probability is now going to be double because you have 2 tickets. So all these probabilities are going to be doubled. And subtract $2 because you bought 2 tickets. So you're going to get negative 0.30 or 30-cent loss. So actually, the expected value is just doubled. Okay, so it works that way. All tickets, now this one's pretty easy. You buy all tickets, then you're going to win all the prizes, the 50, the 25, and the 10, and you will have paid €100 or dollars. So actually you will definitely lose $15.